Hey everybody, thanks for coming to open house tonight. I do apologize for not being here tonight. Unfortunately, my time is required with the wee ones this evening. But I thought I'd make a quick little video just kind of going over what some of the expectations I have in my class, a little bit about myself, and what your students could do to help improve their success in this classroom of science. So anyhow, let's see here. My approach is pretty straightforward and easy. However, I do like to think of the fact that it's not going to be just about biology class or just about things that are living. Like more than anything, for students to become more aware that science is everywhere and to not necessarily think of technology as the only time we ever engage in science. And let's see here. A big thing here for me is just this reminder that while we may live inside our homes and so forth, this notion that we are part of nature shouldn't be something we forget, and that we are also governed by all these laws that will govern the physical world, if you will. Thinking of hurricanes, wildfires, droughts right now going on in this country as around the world. In addition, I'd really like to go and emphasize the idea of fighting scientific illiteracy. The notion that we have a lot of people who go around saying that, well, I'm not a scientist and so I can't understand these things. It's kind of an unfortunate approach to looking towards concepts on this planet and in this universe that a lot of us can understand and we could use to maybe benefit each other, be a little bit more mindful and respectful of each other, and that in general it's okay for you to not understand something and to question and to learn about it. Last but not least, the national reading level is in 7th grade, and quite frankly, I find that unacceptable. So there will be some serious reading. There'll be articles, there'll be textbooks, there'll be lab reports, and so on and so forth. But literacy doesn't stop just with reading. There's also writing, there's typing. I'd remind every parent here tonight that if you can go and ask your student to periodically hop on a typing tutor program online, that'd be huge. We have a deficit in this curriculum throughout elementary and middle school when it comes to this type of digital literacy. And anything you can offer, anything you can, remember those days of high school typing class, it's okay for your student to be practicing those things. So keep that in mind. Next up, the scientific literacy. I'm not going to harp on this too much, but definitely this idea that a lot of people make these choices on our planet and do things that are just downright dangerous, like be driving along 40 miles an hour and someone pulls out in front of you. Well, that's one, disrespectful. Two, it's a good thing that person designed those brakes to go and keep me from hurting somebody. Well, if you understood F equals ma and your speed being, distance divided by time, maybe you wouldn't do something like that. The idea of populations affecting the global warming, or in this case here, more importantly, climate change, which will eventually lead us into conversations about many new alternative energy jobs that are out there. The job sector is completely retooled in this country. Flattening of the world through technology. Look what I'm doing right now. Look, ask, figure out. Don't just accept it for what it is. Question it. But more importantly, ask about it. Make observations. And because our planet and our country is so well endowed with technology and information, the idea that we can create new ideas creatively from our current knowledge is a blessing, and we should really try and think about how we can use that information and apply it to questions or problems on the planet. For the most part, my approach, just that we're given senses, and we really should start using our senses beyond our ability to, play a video game or, veg out and watch a TV show, maybe going outside and listening to the different birds, listening to the different sounds of different vehicles. Is it gas? Is it diesel? Is it electric? Going outside and observing the organisms that live on our planet and the different trees and plants that are surrounding us. All these wonderful things that we can do with our senses. Let's see. Students will definitely notice a lot of math occurring in science. It's not a problem. It's just the way it is. If they come home and tell you that, tell them that's just part of science. Science and math work together. It's okay. Let's see. Let's go a little further here. I was raised in West Springfield, born a Xennial, so all my childhood, most of my young adolescence were in the analog world, and I have since moved through college and into adulthood in the digital. So I'm familiar with both. And unfortunately, a lot of our students come to us only experiencing the digital world. And so anything we can do to help them understand and appreciate and respect this is huge. I live over in Belchertown with my 2 children and my wife, my dog and the horse. Went to UMass Amherst for all my schooling, for a lot of my schooling. Picked up a Grinspoon Teacher of the Year award, my 3rd year of teaching. Hiked from Georgia to Vermont. Yes, I did not finish the Appalachian Trail. I've got a few miles to go. but I had to stop because I no longer missed the woods. And I've been at South Middle for, gosh, going on 15 years with a 2-year stint at the Voc Technical Academy. I apologize. Let's see here. Curriculum. The state of Massachusetts has recently adopted and revised, and we here in Westfield had to adopt and revise it as well. We've got a situation where we have a half-year science in 6th grade, so 7th and 8th had to pick up quite a bit. But if I could break it down into some main units, it would look like this. The nature of science, you'll notice, is the first unit. That's where students are right now. We've got a nice density lab occurring tomorrow, lab reports, and so on and so forth. Chemistry comes up next, followed by geology. We'll then get into weather, meteorology, and then we'll finish with ecology and evolution. All along, we'll be spending a lot of time, not a lot of time, but we're spending a decent amount of time keeping students abreast of what is available for MCAS review, how the curriculum is being addressed in the MCAS, and just getting students more comfortable with those high-stakes tests and realizing that I know it's occurred in 5th grade and it's occurring in 8th grade, and so it's not a test that shows growth, it's a test that shows achievement. What do you know today? And that is slightly unfair, but it is what our state uses, and so we will do the best we can. To help with tonight, you're going to notice that there's a syllabus available. There's also an explanation on the layering and how things are graded, as well as some online communication that might be beneficial to you, as well as how you could go and figure out where you can find this. By the way, that would be over in Miss JC's class right there. Let's see here. There we go. So if I'm looking at it, you've got your online homework page right here that explains where to find all the information online. This would be where you go to find your student's homework, where your student finds their homework. From there, on my page, you're going to notice there's links for textbooks and worksheets over here on the side, as well as on every day I try and upload the daily PowerPoint and any notes that were taken in case your child misses class that day or needs something from the class to review. All the students' teachers will be here on the right-hand side of that screen, and that's where you'll just find all your information. And let's see, my curriculum, you'll notice, is definitely a little winded. I do apologize. A lot of that boils down to just me being very verbose. But please remember and remind these students it's 8th grade, so we're doing a lot of cause and effect. I was looking for this to be signed by students by Friday of this week. And on the back of the worksheet, you'll notice all the objectives slated for 8th grade. There's also this little page here that helps to understand the layered curriculum and how assignments are categorized and how they are graded. Back here. As far as my classroom goes, the technology that's available and that we use pretty regularly, we use these clickers here on the right, and a lot of that's for anonymous as well as formal assessment. I do use it for some summative, for collecting data, but the formative gives us an opportunity to see their answers in grade form with no names attached up on the screen. Students will be using Mobies. They're the styluses. I'm actually using one right now to produce this. The Google Classroom will be something that you're going to see all the students associated with. That should be showing up, at least in my classroom, next week, where students will be able to receive and collect a lot of the information, as well as worksheets and assignments. Outside of the normal traditional paper and pen, pencil classroom experience, we are really trying to get these students aware of Google Classroom because it'll be quite apparent in high school here in Westfield what they'll be getting all their information from. In addition to Google Classroom, the science department does use Jognog, and this is an excellent game program online that allows students to take tests and quizzes as many times as they need to show growth and success. There are some points involved and some rewards that are involved in here. We use this periodically in class, but I use it a lot more for an extension of class and also in preparation for things, whether it be vocabulary and or new concepts. Last but not least, I'm trying this out this year. It's called Classcraft, and it's kind of an opportunity for students to develop an avatar that basically is carried with them, and we can assign points to good behavior, good academic performances, and so it's a little bit of motivation to keep them going both individually as well as working in groups because they do support each other on this. So that is the bulk of my classroom presentation for tonight. If you need to get in touch with me, my email is definitely available on the website. We do a lot of hands-on activities. I want students asking questions. I want them engaged in doing science. I want them collecting data, making observations. I want them asking those important questions, like how did this happen? Why is this tree this way? We do talk about sports. We do talk about our local communities. We want kids to have fun, and clearly this kid's having way too much fun. But we want children to go and students to ask great questions that lead to this discovery as well as this ability to go and process what they're seeing as they move through this world, whether it's digitally or in an analog experience. Want them to know about their home, their community. This is tomorrow's activity where students will be jumping in a tank of water. We'll see how that works out. The use of technology, the use of the analog world. I sometimes use some little snick and snacks to go and help get a point across, whether it's molecular or chemistry. Let's see here. Last but not least, referencing models, new experiences, new sensing devices, having the students understand that we're all here together. 7.6 billion people on the planet, man. We really can't run away from each other. And the more we can appreciate each other and the benefits and the values that each of us carry, the better off we'll all be. So, at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. I hope you have a great evening. I hope you enjoy your time here at South Middle on the open house night. And again, if you have any questions, please do ask. Take care.